Hi everyone, good morning. I'm Lori Lamantia.
Good morning, and I'm Tricia.
We're going to
I'm
get
here
this
with
right
Lori.
someday.
Right.
Right? But anyway, welcome everyone. And today we wanted to talk about surrender, but kind of from a little bit of a different energy, the energy of stop trying so hard. And I wanted to start out by talking about this weekend that I just spent with. It was called Embodying Peace, and the person who was leading it is the Panache Desai, and there was a lot that went on over the weekend. It was extensive, but there was two big chunky things that came out that I think are pertinent and wonderful to our conversation today that we want to have. And the first one is around this perfection that is us, that is you, that is me, that is Tricia, that is us together. It's this divine unfolding, and we've talked about unfolding before, but this divine plan that has laid out the evolution of the world in love. And so part of us being here as we are, as who we are, as these little pieces of God, are also perfection. And everything that we've gone through and done is perfect. And when we can align and allow ourselves to feel that, it gives us like it almost feels like, I don't want to say a permission slip, but it just really feels like we can stop fixing. We can stop the madness of trying to be different, try, effort, because we're in this perfect unfoldment place that knows where it's going, knows what it's doing, and us whatever we're doing is part of that perfect plan, so we don't have to stress out so much. I thought that was a really important piece of this weekend. And the other piece that came out was that this whole idea of free will has really kind of done a number on us, and that it makes us think we can do better, be better, that there's some and not enoughness that's going on that needs to be fixed or taught or upgraded or changed, that giving up this notion of free will means you don't have to change anything, that you're just perfect just the way you are. And as you allow yourself to settle into that, you can relax and peace descends. You become more and more peaceful because you are in the middle of this perfect unfoldment. You are this just, just by being you with all your quirks and stuff is the perfect thing. And you can start to relax and love yourself and love everybody around you. I thought, am I explaining that well, Tricia? Does that make sense?
It does.
And the radical thing was that all the spiritual stuff that we do to try and make ourselves better is almost getting in the way of us just being who we really are and how we really are and how we're needed just as we are as a part of this unfoldment process that's going on right now, which is another thing I really loved. So when we talked about doing a show on surrender, it was almost like surrender the need to keep working so hard to make yourself be different than what you are. Um, so that feels like it in a nutshell. Um, and it makes me, and one of the things that comes up when you really connect with that is there's a deep sadness for all the harshness that we've done to ourselves in the name of being better and not good enough. And, I want to give everyone permission that if they want to cry and be mad about that, that's okay, because we we can be our own worst critics, and we can be the ones who don't allow the abundance in because we don't think we deserve it, or we're not enough, or we haven't done enough. And I I long for the day when I say that's not true for me, and I hope that at some point we all get to it that it's not true for any of us. That I look at Tricia and I see perfect. I see a perfect expression of a wonderful, amazing, amazing expression of God. And I can't, and I've always seen it, and anything she does that is bad or not bad or whatever. I don't see that. I just see this, my wonderful friend who I love hanging out with, who I could never see as anything but perfect, even in what she would consider imperfect.
There's a Thich Nhat Hanh quote that says, "You already are what you're seeking." And that's what your words are reminding me of, right? You already are what you're working so hard to get to or to be.
Right. So and I used to think of surrender as another project, I better learn how to surrender. And I'm just tired of being a fix-it project. I'm just so tired of being a fix-it project. I can't tell you. Just can't tell you. Can't
Oh,
can't say enough about how tired of it I am.
we do spend huge amounts of energy in working, and I even I don't I hate the word now, self mastery. Like I have to work and for self mastery and master myself.
Right. You're already a right? Exactly. I mean, you just look at all the goofy, and I hate goofy's kind of a strong word, but it is. It's all stuff that we're trying to do to get back to who we really are. I totally feel it now. And I feel compassion for me for that. And I feel compassion for everyone who is trying so hard. And I know everyone that listens to this is trying really hard. They have to. If they're listening to us talk right now, they are some of the most beautiful, amazing people who somewhere in the back of their mind, they're going, I don't think so, Lori. I could just feel it. I could hear it. And when we surrender to the beauty and gloriousness of who we are, I think that as we are, I think that's the surrender, because we are little God beings, and God essence is part of this oneness is wanting, is Godding. So you're God Trishing, and I'm God Loriing, and whoever's listening is God Godding in their own unique way. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being that amazing piece of God that came here to be a little bright light. And as we all start twinkling, we're going to create this insanely beautiful light around the globe. I see the net. I see the little lights, all the lights clicking on, click on, all over the world. And it's going to shine a light, and it's going to put a net over over it, and then the light is just going to take off. And I'm happy to surrender to that. Happy to surrender to that. It's not a chore then, it's just a wonderful thing. Sorry, I'm talking a lot here, but I can really feel,
Lovely.
I can really feel and I can feel it. It's not just in my head right now, it's in my whole being. The perfection of each of us, being us unique, and I could, I couldn't call you Tricia if you weren't exactly the way you are. Right. And I couldn't love you like my best friend if I didn't love you exactly the way you are.
It's very clear that you're inspired and holding that space from where you were in your workshop this weekend.
And I wish that for you and all of us.
I can feel it. It's there. It's present.
Mm. Yes. And how cool is that, right? And, as we do that, one of the things he kept saying was, I love you unconditionally. I love you unconditionally. I love you unconditionally. We are loved unconditionally. And that unconditional part, man, that's really hard for us to really imagine, just the depths of what unconditional means.
It is hard to imagine because it's not how we were raised. Even by our families, there was always rules, and there was always what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. So it is really this unlearning of all this stuff. And we unlearn it by taking risks and pushing ourselves out of that structure that we were raised in.
I also think it's almost like, again, not to, I guess I'm going to push back a little bit on that. It was what it was. We needed it to be that way so that we could go, oh, but that's not really true. It's almost like popping the illusion bubble that we need to be anything different than the perfection that we are. And so part of popping the illusion bubble is going through what we went through growing up, learning or experiencing ourselves and grieving, having anger and grief and sadness and all that stuff. So we could go, but that's not who I really am. And it pops.
Mm.
There's no more learning to be different. It's just loving myself as I am unconditionally. Loving all those things, and even loving our parents for quote unquote doing it to us. That was something we signed up for, and it made us who we are now, put us in this perfect spot to pop it so that we can be twinkle lights in the net of perfection.
I like that, being twinkle lights in the net of perfection. And I love the idea of no regrets.
Oh, yes.
I love the idea of no regrets. That just like lightens up everything about
Right.
me.
Right. Yeah, thank you. It's the thing I want to say is thank you. Thank you for putting yourself here in that so that you could be who you are right now. Thank you. I just really appreciate you for that. And I appreciate me for what I went through. And I appreciate everyone who's listening for what they went through, because we are the perfect part of the whole plan. No regrets. I mean, I understand that, and if there is regret, I honor that until, be mad about it, be sad about it, and let it go, because you're an important part. That was all important, and where you are right now is important and valuable, just like you are. I don't know, there's just something really sweet and perfect about that. And it's that song, you sent me a song, and it's
Yes.
that song you sent me. I don't know if you want to read some of the words and that Rumi card you talked about. I think there's been songs and messages and cards and everything blaring at us for so long. It's like, okay, just surrender to it. Let yourself be perfect as you are.
Right. So yeah, you mentioned last week I've been doing a 40-day yoga nidra practice, and yesterday when I came out of my practice, and I remembered a song, and it's from 1968, which is why it was just like, wow, that was a long time ago. But of course, I went to YouTube and was able to listen to it again. And it's by the Moody Blues. It's called Watching and Waiting, and it's from their album To Our Children's Children's Children, or To My Children's Children's Children. And I'm going to read the words. the lyrics were written by Justin Hayward and Ray Thomas. Watching and waiting for a friend to play with. Why have I been alone so long? A mole, he is burrowing his way to the sunlight. He knows there's something there so strong. Because here there's a lot of room for doing the thing you've always been denied. Look and gather all you want to. There's no one here to stop you trying. Soon you will see me, because I'll be all around you. But where I come from, I can't tell. But don't be alarmed by my fields and my forests. They're here for only you to share. Because here, there's lots of room for doing the things you've always been denied. So look and gather all you want to. There's no one here to stop you trying. Watching and waiting for someone to understand me. I hope it won't be very long.
Mm.
And the beautiful thing about it, and of course I played it like 18 times yesterday, and I cried and I laughed and I sent it off to people, but I even remembered hearing it because I was in high school in 1968 when that came out, and I remember even then knowing he was talking about being connected to Creator and this longing for that relationship to be there all the time. It wasn't talking about looking for a boyfriend or a buddy that I could talk to. It was about this connection with Source where there's no limits, no one's stopping you, right? It's all here for you. So I feel that this song really resonates with what you're saying too. It's all here. There's no one here to stop you now. Look and gather all you want to.
Right. And the thing that set me free this weekend was, and you don't have that whole, all this spiritual stuff getting in the way of making me think I can do one more thing to be better, that I'm a fix-it project. As soon as you stop being a fix-it project and you can be in that energy of enjoying the forests and the trees that they were mentioning, all the bounty, all the bounty. As soon as you stop fixing and putting that little nugget of, but what about, and if you close that gap, then you're at peace, and all the bounty, all the beauty, all the joy, all the everything just gets to you are allowing it to flood to you. Nothing's giving it to you. You're allowing it to flow to you.
Because it's already there.
Because it's already there. It just keeps knocking at the door, going, open the door, let me in. I'm
One
here.
of the things my yoga has really taught me, and especially in the last couple of years, is the subtle body, the feeling sense, not just an intellectual idea, and not, but this feeling sense of myself as energy. I am part of this universe. I am energy, just like all the energy of the universe. Everything is energy. And instead of intellectualizing it, but really allowing myself to feel it, those times, I'm sure if you've taken yoga classes, there are times where you can feel like sensation on the palms of your hands and on the surface of the skin. And that kind of awareness that is energy all the time. We are that all the time. And for me, to be able to be tactful and sensation means I don't even have to think about it.
Right.
It's there, right? I can feel it. I know it as a truth because I'm submerged in it, almost like taking a bath
Right.
and feeling it all around me. Right. So that my intellect Doesn't even have to get involved in that. It's a knowing sense.
Right. That's what they say, like, you don't hear a fish going, well, where's the water? It's swimming
Right.
in it. You're swimming in it. We're swimming in it.
Right.
Um and it's that, I guess right now I want to say it's that fixing, I can't until that, I change this, I change that, I make this better. And I'm feeling a little, I'm still rethinking about this whole, well, how much, you know, we've been taught about free will and creating for so long. I'm still kind of I'm still in the middle of looking at that again, but I do feel there is some discernment and things that go on, but sticking with the perfection of this this ocean we're in the middle of, I think right now is really important for me and probably for us as humanity, because there's a lot of stuff going on. And if you look at it like it's broken, it needs to be fixed, versus it's perfect and it's unfolding into the divine perfect thing, the next perfect thing. I think we can also have a lot of peace around that. For me, it brings me peace. I can't speak for anyone else, but I do trust God. I do. And my next thing is, do I trust everyone else? I can. I can, knowing that we're all unfolding into more beauty, more joy, more freedom, more play, more. And if it's a rocky road, we've all gone through rocky roads and come out on the other side. Wow, that stunk, but I feel freer and happier because of it. I'm guessing that's what's going on a global, but I don't know. But I don't have to know. Do I have to know? No,
Well,
you
that
know.
that brings me to my Rumi Oracle card that I pulled this week too. With a couple of friends, we were zooming together, and we each pulled a card. And this card is pretty. It's number 8, which is the cosmic heart, but it actually says to become comfortable with the possible discomfort of not knowing, and to understand you don't have to understand anything for life to work out with perfect synchronicity and generous grace. So that takes me off the hook.
Right, perfect synchronicity and generous grace.
Right.
That's the thing. And and we talked a lot about, and we all know the reason why we do almost not almost everything we do is to keep ourselves safe. Safety. So the unknown is just all about, oh my gosh, it's not safe. I'm not safe. We're not safe. I mean, that whole safety survival root chakra, the root chakra, we always want to be in the third eye when we're all woo woo, but that root chakra needs comforting. It needs us to really honor it. And part of honoring it right now to me is when I trust that I'm a part of that perfect unfoldment, it gives my root chakra comfort, and that it doesn't have to be afraid, and afraid for my safety, afraid for my security. I am safe. I am secure. I am okay. And I know we're talking philosophical here, but I'm not. I'm not. I feel the perfection of that universal energy, and I feel the generousness. Say that sentence again.
You have been asked to become comfortable with the possible discomfort of not knowing, and to understand you don't have to understand anything for life to work out with perfect synchronicity and generous grace.
Yes.
So grace is happening
And it's generous.
without us doing anything or
No.
understanding it, even. Right.
In perfect synchronicity. What if we really just gave ourselves over to that? how would that change our lives? How would it change our stress factor? How would it change, and that's the surrender, right? How would
Mm-hmm.
our energy change, the stress in our back, the headaches, the whatever, and also seeing it and that it's going on for everybody around us, so we don't have to manage that either. It takes all of our responsibility. Well, it takes a lot of the responsibility off of us. We just trust ourselves and we trust in it. And then you move from scarcity and survival to enjoyment and play and grace
And love.
and love. All those energies that are, of course, of course. And one of the things this woman at the conference did, this lovely, beautiful young girl was talking about how she got up, and I don't know, 10 years ago, she said she she hated herself so much, she hated her life, that she was committing suicide. And she succeeded to the point that she was in between life and not life, or not here, let's say. And she said, I got this feeling, I just got it, that it didn't matter what I did, and it didn't matter if I stayed or if I went, I was just loved. If I stayed, I love you. If you go, I love you. I don't care about any of it. It was just all love. And obviously she stayed because she was there to talk about it. But I thought, how many times we hear this over and over about, it doesn't matter what you choose, I love you. There is only love, unconditional. That unconditional love is such a beautiful thing that I think is on the docket for us to really surrender to.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess for me this week, it's about realizing we're not fix it projects, and that if we can surrender to the perfection of everything and the perfection of ourselves, we realize we're that perfect synchronicity and that generous grace.
Beautiful.
So that's the gift we give ourselves this week, huh? And forever.
Yeah.
But start now. Start now.
Right now. Right.
Right now. Now's good. One of my favorite phrases. What about now? And what about now? Oh, and by the way, now. I love you. Thank you for being here with me. Truly. And everyone else, our great love to you.
Love you all.
Namaste.
Swaha.